We're meant to be walking free.
Both the Coalition and Labor have promised to spend billions of dollars to address what has become known as the skills crisis in this country.
This investment in the future is to be applauded, but for years the WorldSkills competition has allowed tradespeople to demonstrate their abilities in an internationally competitive environment. Mark Callaghan, CEO of WorldSkills Australia, along with Drew, I nearly said Joel then, sorry Joel, join us to explain what the competition is all about. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Has there been a shift towards trades given that demand is so high now and there's money to be made?
Well, there has been a shift, but I think there needs to be more of a shift, and it's good to see that both parties have come out and pledged some support. And I guess that's what we've been doing at WorldSkills for years, trying to raise the profile of trades and skills so that young people, when they're considering their careers, don't automatically think, well, I've got to go to university to be a success. I can, take up a trade or a skill.
Is that stigma
I was going to
still
say
there?
it's not valid.
Yeah, it is, but not so much amongst the young people themselves, but you consider it, when young people make this decision, they're sitting around the kitchen table with their mums and dads. And so pretty much it's the mums and dads, the careers advisors and the teachers still have that stigma there. And what we need to do is we need to highlight young people like Joel and our other skilleroos, and show them to other young people and say this is what you can achieve.
Yeah. It's funny because I was thinking about this the other day. We have sports stars, we have business high flyers, but we don't have like bricky stars, do we?
Well, we do, but they just don't
get the profile,
attention.
do you?
That's right. That's
so
right.
this is what this competition is really good for, that, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is the 39th international competition, so it's not something that's just happened overnight.
Joel, what finally swayed you into going into a trade as opposed to doing a university degree or going into a job in some other way?
I guess I kind of stumbled upon it to a degree. Initially I was talking to a friend of mine at school and she had this amazing ring on, and I'm like, wow, where'd you get that? And she told me she made it, and I just couldn't believe you actually made it. I thought jewellery was just something you bought. And she was able to sort of tee up some work experience with me to go and work with some guys down at Ruby Tuesday Jewellery in Warrandyte. And so from there I did some work experience, and that went really terrifically, and then sort of kept in contact with them. And then later on, when I was doing Year 12, I started working just part-time with them, just sort of one day a week, and from that I got a really good sort of feel for what jewellery making was about. All the different sort of interesting tools, techniques, and it sort of really began to grow on me then, and it developed then into an apprenticeship. So
you never considered anything else? You didn't try any other trades or anything like that?
No, certainly I'd tried other sort of work experience and things like that, but nothing did grab me quite like jewellery making.
And what did your parents say? Were they steering you to a university course, or were they steering you to a trade, or what was their opinion?
Yeah, they were sort of happy, so long as I was happy, sort of thing. Certainly I did initially, throughout schooling, I was heading down that science sort of maths kind of path, but then this came up and I just realised what an interesting and I guess creative and great career it was.
How did you get involved in WorldSkills?
That was sort of through TAFE, I guess. One of the teachers at TAFE, he sort of introduced me to it, sort of told me about this WorldSkills competition. Like, I'd never heard of it before until then, and then basically I went into the regional competition, and I didn't really, still at that stage, had no real idea what to expect, and sort of made the peace with that. Was lucky enough to move on through that into the national and now the international competition.
All right, well, let's talk about the international competition, Mark. Something like 850 competitors from 48 countries. That's one heck of an Olympics.
That's right, it's an Olympic-style competition, yeah.
How does it work, though? Is it a race?
No, it's there's about 48 different trade or skill categories that are tested, and it's over a 4-day competition period. And the projects are already set, as Joel will be able to tell us. He's seen 5 of the projects already and been able to train on those, and then what they will do is, prior to the competition starting, they will change elements of it, so there is some unknown element there for them. And so they'll be tested on different things like speed and accuracy, and it does vary from competition to competition.
And look, I just wanted to highlight some of these fantastic pieces that you've made up just for the cup. Because I know one of the pieces that you had to do in the competition was a brooch, but you obviously didn't have to attach the clip onto it, but you had to do the basic brooch, didn't you?
Yeah, generally, there's a couple here as well. They're a basic brooch-like piece, and they just contain, you know, lots of different elements, lots of different skills, lots of things to test us there. Yeah, and I've made up these other little pieces just with the cup theme as well.
And so when Mark was saying you have a guide, I guess, as to what they're going to make you do, what is the guide?
They give us a bit of an orthogonal drawing, so an orthogonal drawing, a picture from each side, a top face, a side face, a back face, that sort of thing, and then we're given some measurements, and like Mark said, just you know, at the competition they change it by 30%, so going into it we don't know 100% of what this item's going to look like, and then on the morning we're given you know, the final drawing, and then we've got the next 4 days to make it up with the materials that they provide to us. So yeah, quite a challenge.
You mentioned Skilleroos.
That's right.
That's obviously the Australian team.
That's right.
Where do you find them? Where have they all come from? And you obviously hold local competitions.
That's right. It starts, as Jewel said before, at the regional level, and WorldSkills itself is broken up into 30 regions throughout Australia. We're relying on the TAFE teachers, such as the way that Joel got through, other training organisations, or just people, that word of mouth in general, to get these young people to sign up and compete against their peers at a local level. Australians love competition.
Yeah.
How are we placed internationally? I mean, in terms of skills, are we up there?
We're currently ranked 9th in the world, which, you know, is very good considering some of the countries that we're up against. It's very much a European-based competition, and that's where it started from. And so the European nations are still really strong, and now the Asian nations are coming through. And they place a lot of value on their skilled tradespeople in some of the European countries and some of the Asian countries.
Sure, and look, I imagine there's a huge amount of kudos that goes with that, but what do you actually win?
Well, you win gold, silver and bronze medals. And
just like an Olympics? Just
like an Olympics. And I guess, you know, you win the bragging rights to say I'm the best jeweller in the world, or I'm the best web designer in the world. And
extraordinary,
everything that goes with that.
And I guess you get a good opportunity yourself to see what people around the world are doing in your field.
Yeah, certainly. You know, even it's just been amazing just to sort of go along and see all these other different trades, but now I'll be able to go over to Japan and see what's happening there, meet all these different people. So I'm, you know, sort of really excited just to see, you know, what they come up with, different tools, how they do things.
You've just hit on my next question. Are there tools of your trade as there are in other trades?
Oh, certainly. We use very manual tools. There's very little sort of, you know, automated machinery, that sort of stuff. That was one of the things that really surprised me. You know, you're there with a tiny, you know, a little saw frame. It's all done by hand. You roll things out on a manual roller, draw the wire down. So you make the pieces of jewellery, you know, from, you know, sheets of metal, from bars of metal to sort of what you see there now.
Do you think your profession, that of the jewellery profession, has suffered from a lack of skilled people in it? Have you seen that at all?
Yeah, I think it can. You know, like there's lots of jewellery being imported, lots of mass production pieces are, you know, being sold like that. And I guess that's taking away a little bit from, you know, like the craft people, the people that are hand making the jewellery themselves. So, you know, I guess I'm really lucky that I've got this, you know, unique job and this unique position to sort of carry this along.
I was reading your notes. There was a great comment about you did some work experience doing panel beating, but you realised that actually there was no creativity in it for you.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, like I said earlier, I tried to do a few different work experiences and that kind of thing, and it's just, with those other jobs, I just wasn't enjoying it as much. You know, it was a great taste of those different careers, but, you know, jewellery making, it's so enjoyable, so fun for me, and with the people that I work with, you know, they're at Ruby Tuesday, like, it's just great, you know, it doesn't feel like you're, you know, slaving away every day. It's that enjoyable. Yeah.
Mark, the competition is starts in about a week's time, doesn't it?
The 15th of November is the first day of competition
in Japan.
In Japan.
And so, and you go along. How well are we represented? How many skills are we representing?
24 skills and 27 competitors. There's a couple of team-based skills in there as well.
And how big?
What are the team ones?
There's a team one called Manufacturing Team Challenge, and it's a challenge where they have to, this time they have to design and build a wind-generated water pump. And they say we'll have an electrician, a fitter and turner, and a CAD drawer there, and they'll have to actually design and build this product in the 4 days of competition and commission it, make sure it works.
And design it, or are they given
They've already been given some parameters, and some of the design work has been done, but they have to do fully detailed drawings and commission it there in the 4 days of competition.
What a great thing. Isn't that fantastic? And your role is, once you're there, what do you you stretch them beforehand? You want to rub down or something?
I'm also the official delegate for WorldSkills Australia, so it's just like an IOC organisation. So we have General Assembly meetings and Strategy Committee meetings that are going on. There'll be other countries bidding for the rights to host the 2015 competition. So that's my role there, and to make sure that everything is right there for Joel and all the other skilleroos.
So do you get lots of freebies like the other Olympic committee members allegedly do?
Oh, they don't get those, do they?
No, look, it's really exciting for you, and good luck.
Oh, thanks a lot. Yeah, sort of looking forward to it. Yeah.
Good on
Good
you.
stuff. All right,
Thanks for
lovely to
coming in
meet you
this morning.
both.
Thank you.